Hello. Hello. Yes. Give me a second. Hi, guys. Can you hear me? Hello. Happy Easter if you celebrate. Happy Easter. Happy Sunday if you celebrate. Happy Sunday. Hey, Indigo, how are you? How's your day been? I'm trying to get situated.
Yeah,
What was that?
That's a chance for later.
Oh, you brought it to, okay. Thanks.
Love you, bye.
Love you. Bye. Hello. Is anybody here? Well, anybody's here. They're not talking, which is okay because I'm not sure I'm here. Am I here? Am I here? Okay. There we go. Welcome, and let's try to find a little bit of music. If anybody's coming from Christie's, hey. Let's see. Do we want something chill or something a little peppy? Come on in. Thank you. Good. That's a little loud. We'll simmer that down a little bit. Anybody is welcome to come up on panel with me if you want to. Hi, Van. How are you? Welcome. 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 I don't know if you've been to my house. Anybody can come up on panel if you want to. I just thought we would have a little time after Kazi did her show. It's me. Hey, Jen. Hey, guys. Happy Easter. Happy Easter. I just got home, so I'm still trying to kind of get myself together. So please bear with me, although we're working together, right? I'm a little mess. My husband just came in and asked for Tylenol. Oh, sure. I will put the link in the chat. Now, I'm going to put the link in the chat and then we'll pick a couple of people just to come on at first, depending who's here, although I don't really care, you guys. We can all just, it's nice to kind of have faces to names. Thank you, Ben, for coming in. I'm happy to have you, and this is my face. I brought it with me. But yeah, I like to see people so that I can, put a name with the face. Hey, Ben.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm trying to get it together here. Is the music too loud?
No, I think it's good.
Okay. There she is again. Hey, John.
Hi. The one, the only Indigo Twin.
Ta-da!
If you make an Indigo Girls reference, please add $1 to my PayPal campaign.
Oh,
Just kidding. I said if I had $1 for every time someone was like the Indigo Girls, I'm like, well, I do like the Indigo Girls, but that's not what inspired the name.
Now, can I ask you what inspired the name?
Yeah, so in like witchy stuff.
Yep.
Indigo auras are for people who are sensitive to people and like
indigo children.
Yeah, but also like a little bit of like ghosty
Yes.
like stuff. So I do get contacted by spirits and I have to tell them not right now.
Yeah, that's cool. And I've been wanting to ask you about
And
your name.
twin, because I'm a Gemini.
Oh.
But I was supposed to be a Cancer, but I came early because I was like, why the fuck should I care about due dates? YOLO. Oops. Can we swear? I was like, are you honest? Okay.
My channel is really, really very relaxed. And like even Kim was on
John's in the chat.
I know. Happy. Let's say hi to some people. Where did I stop? Hello,
it was
Eric.
also like 45 degrees today, and like yesterday it was like almost 80 degrees. So yeah, it's been a wild weekend so far.
Well, because we're in the Midwest, Haley. Aren't we? And so that's what the weather is kind of like in the Midwest. It's crappy. Hey, Jen.
Yeah, because, the biometric pressure goes everywhere, and then my nervous system is just nowhere. It might as well not exist.
No, and it's bad on the joints, right? All of those kind of things. But like some days it'll really give me pretty bad brain fog.
There you are. My computer muted my audio output for some reason. Like they were rude. You were like saying something and then my computer was like mute. And I was like, that's mean. Why? Like, I like Tiff.
You don't need to hear what Tiff has to say. Yeah, it is. The barometric pressure can really be a pain in the ass. Yeah. Because it's something we don't even realize is affecting us. And it does affect us in so many different ways.
Oh, it does.
It's so nice to have you guys here. Oh, my doggies.
Hello, doggy.
Sean. Oh,
waff, waff.
Were you guys on? I missed the 4 a.m. show. I was on in the middle of the night. And then I actually went to sleep. So I missed everybody that was on today. Who else been on today? Have you been around?
A little bit. So I saw... Oh, wait, that's the wrong shirt. Hang on. Wrong button.
I'm like, dude, I have my shirt on. So I had to like look
I was unbuttoning the wrong shirt.
Oops. Whose shirt? What's happening? Turn it off.
No.
Everybody close your eyes.
No, we're good. I saw, obviously Kaz was just on, and then earlier today I saw I popped into a couple lurking because I went out for coffee and stuff, so.
Nice.
No. But we're not only fans here.
I didn't know what was happening, you guys. It's been really
Teresa,
nice.
Hi.
Hey. Hi. I caught a little tiny bit of Teresa. I saw her. I didn't get to hear her. But it's been lovely, everybody being on today and together and what everybody's brought. Hello, human.
Yeah, these are such a good idea because I think even if people just stumble across them like on accident, even on the replay, like it's a nice idea that there's always like someone out there thinking of you, even if you don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people could feel lonely, like, oh, like nobody even knows I'm here, but like, then streams like this exist. So I think
Yeah, and
it's really
something's
awesome.
happening. Yeah, something's happening. There's people around. I like that. I think that's important. It's important to have community. It's nice to make a good community. Oh,
Also, it's a tiny crystal kitty. Hang on, focus.
it's Crystal.
Yeah, I can't remember which. This might have been an obsidian, but it's a kitty.
Oh, it is so cute.
I know it's so tiny. I have to be a beauty YouTuber so you can
Yeah.
see it.
You know, I got some stones the other day.
I have to save my money at this moment, but like before my roommate moved out, I kind of ordered some stuff off a YouTube page that I found that sells crystals
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
it was you know, it's nice to have a little collection.
Yeah. I always like to. I don't know, like, you know, I love to go into those little shops that have the different crystals and different cards and all the different things. And it, you know, I
Yeah.
just love the vibe when you walk in.
Oh
And,
yeah, especially yeah.
you know what I mean? It's just almost, it's like so relaxing.
Oh yeah. And then like I have a link to the Fae that I ignored for 2 years, and they were like, "Hello, hello, hello," and then I went into like one of those shops, and literally a book fell off the shelf and hit me.
And it said, hey,
They're like,
read
"Stop
me."
ignoring me!" Ugh.
Yeah.
And the practitioner of the shop was like, "I am so sorry." I'm like, "Dude, clearly you put the book well secured on your shelf. This is like a spiritual tag that I need to listen to. It's not your fault." Like it really was. It was on
That's-
like the highest shelf pushed all the way in. Like there's no way it could have fallen like otherwise.
Right. It's
So-
like it jumped out for you.
Exactly. I have to
Yeah.
go back for it because I didn't have enough money at the time, but it was kind of funny.
I know this. I know. I found this one. It was just kind of interesting. Like I just happened to pick it up. It's Jasper,
Oh, that's really pretty.
isn't it? And it doesn't usually pull my eye like this colors. I don't know why it wouldn't, but it was like as soon as I picked it up and held it, it just felt warm. Like it should have always been there. Maybe I lost Haley.
Oh, no, I'm here. I'm going to
Okay.
grab something really quick.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Eric, for sharing everybody's links. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Teresa, were you the one doing I'm trying to look the 4 agreements. Were you doing some of the 4 agreements? I have the book here and I read it years ago and I need to touch base with it again. Why did the jelly bean go to school? It wanted to be a smarty. Oh. Ah. But if you're a jelly bean, it's okay. Love yourself. Be who you are. Let's see, Crystal.
I have
Yeah.
returned.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome
I know that Jimena does something similar on her channel where she pulls cards for people.
back. Yeah.
And I know it's Easter, but if anyone would like a oracle card, I can do that if you would like.
I always
Hi,
enjoy
buddy.
those. I always enjoy body illusion.
I know. I'm so glad to see, like, I know she's been back for a while, but our community's just been hit with so much. John,
I
too,
know.
like, just so
Yeah.
much medical stuff where people needed, like, procedures and had health scares, and it's just really good to see people around. And
It is. It is. And even like,
like, miss
just
'em,
mental
you know?
health breaks, people taking self-care mental health breaks that are kind of popping in or up a little bit here and there again.
Yeah,
And,
it's so important because
it's nice.
7th month one.
Yeah.
And you wanted one. Okay, so I'll just turn on my off my background again because it's just
Ben
easier
wants
to focus
one.
on here. We'll do the whole only with
All right.
consent. Okay, so Ben, 7th, and Tiff so far. I actually my friends got married on Sunday. And
really?
it was a really, really cool, really small ceremony. And they're husbands now. I love it. They're my
Wonderful.
spirit parents. Literally.
Aw,
Like, we were told
that's
by
cute.
somebody in a practitioner shop that they were my parents in a past life, which is so funny because that's exactly how they act.
That's really cool.
All right, so let's do Tiff.
Okay.
first.
Hey, Tomas, honey. Happy Easter. It's good to see you.
All right.
I'm glad you're here.
It's out my little book.
We gotta talk. We gotta catch up. Tomas.
Oh, Tomas is here?
Yeah.
Hi, Tomas.
Yeah. No.
I'm sorry, I was really excited. He
I
was
know.
like such a part of chats that I was in for the longest time. I just haven't I've been offline for a bit myself, so
Oh, John's here.
he is. Okay, so Tiff's
Yay.
card is Kick Up Your Heels, which is
Oh boy.
a unicorn.
Welcome, John.
Hello. Oh,
Oh,
Oh.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
turn this
But you
on.
can't see me, so let me work on that.
Let's see.
Give me just a second here.
I love
It
this.
says my device is occupied. Why is that?
do you have OBS?
Yes.
He's gonna come back.
He hopped
But
down.
here's the card, and with this card, it is saying, your so longs for exciting adventure. Sometimes we procrastinate when it comes to things like we need for our personal self, and that it's okay to sing and dance and take that
Okay.
time, take that time to like express yourself creatively, because if you like stifle that, it can like hurt you like spiritually, basically. So they're like encouraging you to like embrace things that make you like feel that joy.
I need it. I've been feeling I need it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Whatever
need
that means. If it
Yes.
means like
I just need to be
I'm
like,
gonna
yes,
go
excited
to a
more.
coffee shop and get a latte to stay instead of to go, and just enjoy the ambiance and the flavor of the coffee, and just, or whatever your thing
Yeah.
is, like that could even be like dressing more to the style that you prefer rather than the style that you have to dress. Because a lot of times I feel like more spiritual or people who express themselves with their way of dressing have to like tamp it down for offices a lot, and it's you can miss that way that you feel when you dress in a way that makes you feel good.
Yeah, when you have to dress that is true. When I used to have to work and you have to dress a certain way and you don't feel like it, right? And now at 51, I am
Girl,
ridiculous.
no.
I have blue hair. I am wearing silly
Girl, shut
tie-dye.
up.
These are my pants, right? Like
51?
they're
You
huge.
look a day over like
Okay.
39.
Oh, thank you.
You're a kid, Tiff. Come on.
Oh,
Please. Please.
Oh,
Hey, baby.
I'm so happy.
Welcome.
Okay.
Welcome, Eric.
Okay, we have hi
Hey.
Eric.
Hey.
Hey.
We have I'm sorry, there were so many people who were like suddenly like, give me a card. I'm trying to remember who went first. Okay.
Let's
I know
see.
Ben asked for one.
Yeah.
You did and Seventh did. Okay, so
Chat here.
your card, John, is visualization. Hang on, let me just like hold this up. It's like a little fairy in a pool of water.
Sounds about right.
These
I'm a little fairy.
You need your
I look
sun
like
and-
a little fairy, don't I? Yeah.
are the healing fairy oracle cards. So they're all going to be mostly along those lines. I think there's a couple things like the unicorn that aren't fairy, but just gotta get to the little thing. Okay. So the fairies know the power of conscious visualization as a tool of manifestation. By drawing this card, you are guided to sit quietly on a daily basis and to visualize yourself living a healthy, happy, abundant, and meaningful life. Visualize only what you desire and avoid picturing that which you do not desire. You have powerful visual skills even if you're unaware of them. Affirm daily, I am a highly visual person. Any blocks that you have about clairvoyance will begin to lift. Know that it is safe for you to see the future, the spirit world, and the truth about your life. By releasing any fears about seeing, your visualization powers will be greatly magnified.
Oh, I like that.
And that can even be for like your channel or like hobbies that you might have put on the side.
Mm-hmm.
That you're like, I don't have time for this because I have to do this, this, and this. And they're
Yeah.
saying, hold up. Make time for the things that bring you joy and let you slow down.
Well, everybody's been saying that about my channel lately, so I guess that's a hint from a higher power now. I can't
Yes.
ignore it
Well.
anymore.
No.
I mean, how many
But-
times can you hear it?
But
I
but it should bring you joy. So like that's the whole thing with
hope
this
so.
specific fairy deck is that it's like embrace what brings you joy and try not to focus on. I know it's hard for like creators,
Mhm.
but if the reason that you're doing your channel is that you're passionate, F the numbers.
Right.
I know that a lot of people, some people are shooting for that goal of monetization, but don't get lost and mired in I lost subscribers because they're not supposed to be there. Like people will come in when they're meant to be there and they'll stay if they're meant to stay.
I have several creator friends who obsess over the numbers, and I say, you know what? If those people are worth it, they'll be here. If they're
Yeah.
not, they will go, and others will come that
Yeah.
will fill that void.
And
so.
especially when you're building, just like
Mhm.
when you build your channel,
Yeah.
you're going to get people who come and go because they're going to vibe with one thing but not another. Or, you know, for those of us that were in more unsavory situations,
That's a very PC way of putting it.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm
I know you were struggling to
meant-
find those words there for a minute.
Yes, I was. The ones that come to hear your story because they care about you and want to know you will stay, and the ones that come for the drama will leave.
Right.
And that's just how it works. As drama unfortunately was pushed by YouTube, and we saw it annihilate the beauty community,
Yeah.
which started very friendly and cooperative. And I'm like, I just want to learn cat eyeliner, and y'all are exposing
Mean
each
girl.
other.
That's-
I don't care. I want to be emo. Teach me how to do my makeup. That's what I came here for.
Right. That's about it. Too.
But yeah, especially because music is also actually they've proven through statistical studies with like dementia, Alzheimer's, stroke patients, music is the second strongest core memory that people have after smell.
Yep. I've heard
It's
that
like
too.
smell and music.
Mhm.
And
That's a
then
beautiful thing.
and
I
then
love
sight.
that.
Because like think about it, like I think about this all the time, is like I keep photos of the people I love when they passed from when they were healthy, because the first thing that vanishes from my memory is what their face looked like.
Mhm.
But I could say how they smelled. I could say how they sat in their chair. I could say what music was on when we were talking, but sometimes I can't visualize their face anymore. So music does really have a healing power, and I think exploring that is going to be so fun.
I hope so. And Tiff,
Okay.
you are rocking those
Yes.
glasses.
Thank
just so
you.
you know.
They're so cute.
I
They're like a
love 'em.
little movie star.
Thank you.
Okay, this
Definitely.
one is for 7th. I sound nasally because the trees here don't know what's happening, and neither do I. So I still get the allergies.
My neighbor
Like-
next door was cutting his grass this morning, and I was like, "Oh my god!" But he missed the last cut before winter, so it was a little long to begin with. But nobody's
Okay, so
grass
this is
cut.
the happily ever after card for 7th.
Okay.
It's a little happy scene. Try to get it to focus on the card and not my face.
They're very bright cards.
Mhm.
They are. The fairies
Yeah.
are very bright. This is a reassuring card signaling that the movie or moment in life you are currently starring in has a very happy ending, and that the harsh stuff that you're going through or worrying about is going to work itself out. Like you're not in the free fall of the fall anymore. You're kind of like swinging up the pendulum. Does that make sense? Like, because when you're in free fall, you feel like nothing's going to fit together. But this is saying, like, no, the stepping stones for happiness are there. You just have to be able to take a step back and follow the path. If that makes sense. Calling you out to go outside, feel, again, a lot of these cards are about like feeling the happiness and joy and not feeling any guilt. Like, because I think a lot of times we go through stuff, or our friends go through stuff, and we almost feel guilty when we have success or joy like come to us when people we know are struggling. So and also that the happy ending isn't gonna be something you can plan. It won't be like, maybe you visualize a very certain thing, but you might be in your happy ending right now, like of an arc, not like, to start a new journey, and you might be missing it because it doesn't look exactly like you pictured. If that makes sense. I don't know if this is
So you're
resonating
saying like
with
you might be
someone.
missing appreciating it because it's not exactly what you had envisioned.
How you pictured it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think we all have this is for 7th, and then I think we all have ideas of where we want to be in X amount of time, or what society tells us we should have by a certain age. Oh, bye, Eric.
Bye, Eric. Come back though in a little bit.
Actually, in my Others Keeper, these are oracle cards. So oracle cards are much more open and guiding, rather than giving, like, how do I put this? I have another fairy deck that's tarot, and that deck is like, I will hit you in the feelings so hard that you are never prepared. Sometimes
I don't ever take my personal, like, I don't take like fairy or angel cards as like dark cards. That's
No,
just
they're
me
not.
personally.
Yeah. So like I do subscribe to like so for me, oracle cards are positive guidance, especially this particular deck. It's all about like self-expression, like accept who you are kind of messaging. Tarot, I do read for people where the cards are reversed, but to me, that's not a negative. To me, that highlights things that can be changed. So the card might be like upside down, saying, like, right now, these are things you're experiencing, but you always have the power in yourself to reverse it to the positive, if that makes sense. Because we get stuck, I think, sometimes. Oh, and then shoot, Ben wanted one. Trying to follow all the people who like everyone was like me, and I was like, okay.
Ben doesn't deserve one.
Oh, the drama.
Really?
Please don't fight.
The drama intensifies. Please, Mom and Dad, don't fight.
Is Ben the mom and you're the dad?
Well, we'll talk about that later off camera.
Okay, so Ben, your card is problem resolved. This card is an issue that's been bothering you is being healed behind the scenes. The solution is creative, and a joyous surprise is waiting for you. You're on the cusp of experiencing relief from a problem that's been bothering you. They are reminding you to smile, and that eventually the situation you're in will lead to an achievable goal or a good outlook. Wait, are you saying anything, Tiff?
I did. I said
Okay.
I said
You
that's
were
good.
muted.
No, I know. I muted my mic.
Okay, because you and John both muted while I was giving Ben his card, and I was like, did I lose my sound again in my
No.
headset? Okay.
No. I was ordering my second plate of food.
Oh, good. Oh,
All
good.
right.
Oh, yes.
Easter dinner was good, so I it's
We're
time to
doing
put
it
stuff away.
again.
So she's like, "You want a little more of anything?" And I'm like, "Okay."
You get hungry again, like driving
hours
home
later.
even.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I'll have a little bit of that and that and a little
Mhm.
bit, Yeah. Holiday food.
So I completely
Yeah, and
missed
also
this
too that the fairies will typically also kind of remind us that maybe the support we're looking for isn't coming in a way that we expected it to.
Mhm.
Or that sometimes also I think when we go through hard things emotionally that we can kind of forget that like love comes in multiple forms, or even like in unexpected ways, because I would say that a big part of our community, a big lesson I've learned from my whole experience with like anti-Scientology stuff was I didn't expect to get involved with it, but I've gone through like a very hard period of my life recently, and I've made some really good friendships in this community.
Mhm.
And like I didn't think that deep diving a cult would lead to where I am right now.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
or
same.
but like I
Yeah.
think going through, and also that we've been able to kind of like meet so many people where they're at, like, and learn about them in a way that is not filled with judgment.
Mhm.
Like, there's people in the chat, like, whose channels I watch and I support and comment. I don't consider myself like Christian anymore. I'm very pagan at the moment, but I was raised Christian. I'm sorry, I was raised in a church,
Mhm.
like with a church community, but I don't think of myself as religious. But I still think of myself as having Christian roots
Mhm.
because I kind of believe that faith is, you can call what you want to call it, but we all believe in something larger than ourselves. But we also all believe in each other. And I think that's something people weren't getting at large in society at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think I've learned people have their faith for personal reasons. And you can't change somebody's mind from what they believe because it's personal to them. But you can listen to where they were at when this thing changed their, because faith changes your life whether or not you believe in God or, like me, like the fairies and hippy dippy witchy stuff.
You know, I have to say, and like I agree. I think I'm a fan of faith in whatever it is. If you have a faith in a rock, wonderful. If you have faith in a glass of water, wonderful. If you just have faith in yourself, which I think is very important, wonderful. You know, I just think having faith is important. I think we all want something to be able to fall back on. You know, there are times in life that are really tough, and if we have the best support system, somebody holding our hand, we're still going through it alone, right? We're the only person doing it. We're the only person going through it. And so sometimes during that, you do want another kind of hand to hold on to.
Mhm.
And so that's where I think faith is important, you know, and I don't like to judge people's faith unless you're hurting people.
Right, unless it's harming others.
Yeah,
Exactly.
unless
Yeah.
you're hurting other people.
Like Scientology.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
my two rules with me and my group of friends who started a coven is like the basic rules of magic practitioner, like magic with consent. Like I don't do readings or whatever for a person unless a friend reaches out and says, my friend gave me permission to ask you to do this. Or
Oh yeah.
like people in the chat are like, pull me a card. Yeah, pull a card for me. Like, and then harm none.
Right.
Like, I don't even mess with negative thoughts. I mean, towards people like, oh, I hope you fail or anything like that. Because
Mhm.
if you're going through like a dark night of your soul or a karmic retribution, like karma will deal with it.
Yeah.
I don't need to add anything there. Like that's one thing I do believe in. Like things come back to you stronger than you put them out. So why put out negativity?
Mhm.
Because you're just gonna, I'm not gonna use that phrase because of Scientology. If you put out negative energy and harm to others, it will come back to you in some fashion.
Absolutely.
Maybe not in this life, but do you really want to put that on your future reincarnation or your current self? Like, I don't think so. I would like to think that everybody has the potential to be good and that sometimes they don't have the guidance to stay on the good path. I don't think a lot of people are like born evil. Some of them, yes.
Mhm.
Most of them, no. I think circumstance and pain and all of that, like,
Sure, there's a lot of things that affect how people come out, environmental trauma, you know, all kinds of things that make us who we become, right?
Mhm.
yes. And then
And
dark.
And I think, I don't know about you guys, and like I said, I'm 51, but that has changed for me over time. Just, I think just as I age and I just become maybe wiser, there were times where I was stupid, you know, and didn't always make like the best choices or what may be. But then you kind of wisen up, and then kind of when I try to wisen up, I also kind of try to wisen up spiritually,
Yeah.
and kind of
Yeah.
say, hey, what kind of person are you being?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to,
Experience guide you.
yeah, and you have to lay down with yourself at night. That's it. You have to be able
Yeah,
to lay down with
I
it.
wrote a poem like a few months ago where I kind of like worked out like I can't run from myself. I spent so much time in my like late teens, early 20s, like trying to fit boxes, trying to hit what society said I was supposed to do. And when I wasn't hitting those marks, I was miserable. And at the end of the day, I was like, well, I'm stuck with me. So how can I change my mindset and my goals to be more authentic to myself?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we all come up against. And I think I was talking to Ben like a couple days ago, and I was like, I think growth and experiencing life is way more fluid. And the harder society tries to make it a box, the harder we have to try to go with the flow. Because if I didn't go with the flow and I left, I had planned at one point to just like completely leave YouTube without telling anyone and just like be like vanish into the ether.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, wait a minute, I'm getting so much insight from the friends that I've made. I'm only 34, and I'm meeting so many people in their 40s and older who have like all of this like experience to offer and
Mm-hmm.
friendship, and like why is it my reaction to like run away and try to handle everything alone?
I think we've all done it at one time or another. Honestly, Haley, because when all the crap went down last year and it seemed like the community was falling apart, that was my knee-jerk reaction. Just get out of everything and go hide under a rock, And it's like that self-pity and that self-wallowing lasted a couple of days, and then I realized what I was giving up, for
And
that.
then I was like, John.
So many of you were. So many of you
And you
were.
were like, I didn't realize that many people would admit.
Yeah, I didn't. Honest to God, didn't think that many people would care. I really didn't. I didn't
LKF,
realize
I am
what a.
saying that you guys are a fine bottle of aged wine. That's what I'm saying. That you like savor, and you have a good flavor off the top, and you teach a lot of lessons.
Well, we've lived a lot of life too, and we made a lot of mistakes. So that's what I think that's what Tiff's getting to. The older you get, and the more life you live, and the more mistakes you make, the more you learn, and the smarter you become at making certain choices. So yeah, it sucks because when you're young, you've got to go through all that crap and take all the lumps. But in the end,
what I think for me, it was like my health started getting really hard hit when I was like 19 and 20.
Yeah, and you're too young to
So I couldn't like go to bars with my friends and just like fool around. Like I had to like suddenly be like, oh, there's way more serious things to consider.
Right, you're adult
at a time when I was sort of
old.
Told by society and TV shows that this was the time I was supposed to be like young and dumb and partying and making mistakes, and I was like,
yeah, you got robbed of that.
But it's okay because I wasn't really into bars.
Yeah.
But
I never really was either. I always felt like the odd man out. I was always the designated driver.
It gets dumber. I feel like life gets so much dumber. And the thing I've learned is we're all freaking winging it.
Mm-hmm.
We have no freaking clue what the heck we're doing.
Mhm.
I thought
There's
I
a reason
did.
I refer
Oh,
to us as the land of misfit toys because we're all just trying to figure it out,
yes.
bumping into walls and but that's okay as long as somebody's there
And
to
for
touch it.
Mr. Eric, your card is peace of mind. Peace
That
of
sounds like
mind.
me. That sounds like me. I mean, I always say
Yes.
that all the time. I say to everyone, let's have a peace of mind and let's have some peace for all of us. So that's why I say to everyone.
Yeah, but to make it your priority for yourself and find moments where you can kind of let your inner voice guide you, because it's so easy to hear negative messaging from yourself. Maybe it was put there by others, maybe like you said, when we grow up and we're not fitting society boxes and we're feeling or we have reasons like mental health, or we're physically disabled, or there's things that people can see that make us different. It can be hard to hang on to who we are and that peace of mind of ourself. But once you kind of unlock who you really are, no one can take that away from you.
Right.
Like once you really connect with yourself, people could try to say a rumor, people could try to be mean to you, and mean comments still hurt like hell.
Mm-hmm.
But the older I get, the more I'm like, you don't know me. People who want to say mean stuff. Like this is for anyone, like you, the
Mhm.
society, you, not a specific person. But
Right.
like people who don't take the time to get to know you and then they want to say untrue things about you. The only time I say stand up and make noise about it is when it affects your livelihood or your safety. That is a line that's irrevocable. Like once you cross that line, no forgiveness.
Right.
But people can make a hate video and I'm like, you don't know me.
Right.
Where are you like pulling these random things from? Like I say it with a laughing tone, but like it's that mentality, right? When you're happy and strong in yourself, people who aren't are jealous. And they're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
try to rob you of your happiness and your confidence because it's easier for them to control you if you're not confident in yourself.
Absolutely.
So find the people that like encourage that confidence. We all have moments where we feel shaken and where we feel like, did I just make like the wrong choice? And
Mhm.
how am I going to fix this?
Yeah.
Sometimes things aren't fixable, but you always have the chance to treat yourself like the way that you treat others. So if you treat others with kindness, why don't you start doing that for yourself?
Mhm.
Okay,
That's very
podcast.
true.
It's harder. It's easy to
Yeah.
say that. It's not easy to do because sometimes that means, like for me, it meant getting really deep into some hard therapy and confronting some stuff. And
Mhm.
that was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I highly
Eric.
Go
recommend
ahead.
for anyone who hasn't done therapy, please give it a try because I was 59 years old before I went to a therapist for the first time, and it was life-changing. That woman saved my life. She really did, and continues to every day.
Good. I'm thankful for that.
Give it a try if you haven't.
Yeah.
I'm going to pop off here real quick. I just wanted to come on and say hi. I haven't been on
Yay.
anybody's lives all day, but I just wanted to hang out with you guys for a while.
Thank you. I'm
So
so thankful and happy that you did.
I'll be watching the rest of the stream. So bye, everybody. Hope you're all having a good Easter. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. All right. Eric wants to say something.
Yeah. So what Indigo was saying about, people being mean and bullying and all that, we all go through that. We all have been through that. And you know, even if it's in school, you know, or online, you know, like you know, on social media or YouTube or anywhere or even in person, you know, there's people out in the world that don't know our struggles. Like, you know, like
No.
for instance, I have high functioning autism, and a lot of us have PTSD, or a lot of us have anxiety, or more worse, and like there's people out in the world that is like if they say something to other people about us or anyone, we're like, how you know me? Like, why? Like, you know, like did we know one another from a past life, or did you know me when we were kids or something? But like it's like there's people out in the world that talks behind our backs, and
Sure.
they tell their friends or people online that, oh, this person said this about me, and this other person said about me, and you know there's haters out there that don't really know what we're dealing with, you know, and that's and I mean, I've been through that. I mean, people on YouTube, I won't say any names, but a lot of you know who it is, but um um that these people don't like, we don't know, I don't know these people, we don't know these people in person, but when they
That
say
are being
meaningful
ugly
things,
to us.
it,
That are
All that
saying ugly and
means
mean
to,
things.
yeah. All that means is that you're doing something right and you're making them insecure. They don't want you to spread your truth because it makes them feel insecure. Screw the trolls. Happy Easter, everybody. And Indigo, you have been dropping some amazing gems. I'm not home yet, but I had to jump up and say you have been dropping some amazing gems since I've been listening on my drive, honey. Good job. And I am a very finely aged honeymead. Thank you very much. Mwah. And I would love a card, but I'm going to jump out because I am driving and it is raining. But I had to jump up and tell you that I'm very proud of you for everything that you've said and everything that you've learned, and count myself blessed that you call me friend and you do come to me just like you've been there for me when I've needed help. So I count myself very blessed to know you, Indigo, and call you my friend. Okay? So, but I am going to jump back out until I get home. Okay. Love you
All
guys.
right, sweetheart. Drive safely.
Oh, stop. I have allergies.
yeah, I think we all have that in our life, you know, allergies. I mean when I was in my 20s, this was in my early 20s, I started to have really bad allergies, like really bad. I mean, now I'm in my late 30s, you know, it's not as bad, but as when we get older, you know, the allergies start to
Enjoy,
be more
sweetheart.
worse, and we just have to find the right remedies for that, and it will help.
You know, one of the best remedies, I think, for people that have ugly things to say and haters and things like that is just nothing. I am a fan of the old nothing burger. I think
Mhm.
that nothing speaks volumes. And
Yeah.
that's just my opinion. Now, there are some relationships, obviously, we all have that. No, I can't just walk away with with saying nothing, right? But these kind of things, and I've been online, and my community is like 7, and not everybody has always loved me. There are rules or certain things that I sometimes have to not be the nice guy, and I don't like that, but people will hate me, and you just have to keep doing what you're doing. Ben posted this a little bit ago. to you, Eric, and it says, when you encounter enemies, you know you're on the right path.
Yeah.
Do you understand that? Like you're doing something right when people have something ugly to say. And you know what? Just keep going. Let them.
Yeah. I mean, when these people, started, hate videos about me and posted on YouTube about me, on posts and stuff, I did the same thing to, get back at them. But, from from what others have said to me on live and stuff, they're saying like, just ignore them, like ignore the haters, don't give them the energy, and what Tori said to me. Now this is what Tori said. He said to me, and this was when I was on the phone with her, since I have her number. She said, don't don't stand near the stove and stay away from it. Like that's what you
Yeah.
need to do, is stay away from the stove to
Right.
not engage with the bullies.
Right. And when they show themselves, then you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that can be really disappointing. I'm not saying that
It's hard to have that happen because it's like you put trust in people.
whoops. Yep.
Ooh,
He'll be back, I hope.
I know, me too, because they have
Yeah.
wait, I did it's hard because I don't think that people understand the gravity of it. Like words have power, and if you
Words.
use hate enough on people who are struggling, who may not communicate in the same way that you do, and you use truly awful people use personal things against you, and maybe it's something that you can't change about yourself. It hurts because you want to believe the best in people, and you want to believe that they were your friend. But the things I've learned along the way is the people who are truly your friend aren't going to ditch you or hurt you when you're struggling. Now, you might get into some really heated arguments,
Sure.
or you might stop talking for a bit while you try to like process and come back again and maybe like patch things up. But life is messy. The true
Yeah.
friends, the true people who are going to be there for you are going to look at that mess and they're going to find a way to help you through it, whether it's just picking you up or whether it's
Giving you space.
giving you
Right?
space or
Sometimes.
whatever. Or, I tell people, I'm not messaging you asking if you're okay because I'm trying to force you to respond to me. I'm doing it so that you know that I know, like
I know.
I see that you're struggling. I'm not expecting you to be able to respond or hit the emoji or anything.
But I'm here.
But
Is that
and the gravity of it is like when people hit you where it hurts the most, when they hit your heart and make you question yourself, that's the worst.
yeah.
You know,
And I'm not saying that it
truly
doesn't
is.
hurt. Ben is just like the wordsmith, isn't he? And
Yes.
poet is a poet. I can't take anything away from either one. But I like it. He says, yeah, it can break your heart, but at the time, it's almost something where you want to thank them for insulting you because they have shown you who they are. And you can just, even though that hurts, and I'm not, I was hurt by an internet friend last year. I told you about that. And it took me months to to get over. Even at like Christmas time, we had an argument in April, and like at Christmas time, I like was like, well, should I send her a card? You know, like should I do something? And then it's just like, no, it's you. It's hard to sometimes really let things go. People, especially, right?
Mhm.
Especially people, and
Yeah.
the thing I try to do, I try to respect the relationship that me and my friend had when we had it. You told me any secrets, any whatevers, any of that stuff that stays in my friendship vault with you. Right? I'll never tell, like if something came up, and I would not tell Haley what someone else said because we're in an argument, right? You
Yeah.
have that. And that's how adult friendships should be, in my personal opinion, is you should be able to, okay, maybe we're not at the same spot right now, maybe, you know, we don't have things in
Just because
common.
things were not good in the present doesn't mean what we had in the past wasn't.
Right.
And
That
you
doesn't mean I
don't
have to
mean
hate you.
less to me as a person. It just means you're not good for me now.
Right.
And you
And
know, Eric, I think
sometimes
too, I think it's, from what I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not very like knowledgeable about autism, except that everybody who has autism, it's different for each individual. But to me, I feel like a lot of times people can misconstrue maybe something that was said, but instead of just asking somebody what they meant, they make up what they think you meant, and then that's what they're going off of when they react. And they're not brave enough to just be like, "Hey man, like did I just misunderstand what you meant? Can you like clarify for me?" So I always try to do that. If I hear something that doesn't feel right inside, I'll just go to the person and be like, "Hey, this doesn't seem right. Like what happened?" Or did you mean what I heard you say? Cuz I could have heard something that you didn't mean. Not you specifically, just people in general.
I think Tiff is muted.
Oh no.
you're right. You saw me moving. I talk it with my hands. Thanks, Eric. But I think too, a lot of times we stay too long trying to fix it, figure it out, put more energy in it. You know, it's like we're chasing it around for too long. And then you're looking for validation, right? It's like you're looking from validate, like Eric said, don't get too close to the stove. And so then you're looking for validation from the stove. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like there's
Mhm.
nothing there. So and you learn that, unfortunately, about people. And some people are just that way. Some, you know, I always say, I think I probably say it in every show that I have, is I'm not for everyone and everyone is not for me. And that's okay. You
yeah,
know, and
but
sometimes it takes time to get to know that.
yeah, but my thing is what I mean by, you know, by what Tori said, stay away from the stove, is the fire. Like the
Yes.
fire that you're fueling the fire from that person.
Right.
And
So
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, you're just adding fuel to the fire by going back and forth and back and forth. And like, when does it ever end? You know?
Yeah.
And I really liked what Poet said here too. Words are powerful, and they are, and they can be very hurtful. I think sometimes
Yeah.
words can hurt and can surely stay longer than a punch or a slap, right?
Yeah. And like Ben said too, when people are putting on a mask, it will slip.
Yeah.
And I always try to say, look at how people do and not what they say.
Yes.
Because I know there's people in this community who are very genuine, open-hearted people, and they often get hurt the quickest and the worst because when you genuinely want to connect with people and then you find out that what you connected with was a persona and not the real person, that can be really jarring, especially for those of us who've been, like Eric was saying earlier, like some of us have been in really bad relationships where our minds were twisted, or people were trying to mold us to be what they wanted us to be.
Yeah.
And so to unmold that vision of ourselves internally and then come up against yet another person where we are now questioning our inner self, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest struggle of all, is trusting your instinct.
I think so too. I think something that I've learned is maybe be a little bit more, one thing I like about our community and everybody that's here, they have a channel, right? And even if it's just small, there's 9 of you here. I love that. I love that you're all here. I like that I know each one of you, right? And know what you look like, and I believe for the most part. And it's nice when it's nice and small like that, right? And you can trust. There's a different level of trust built than by like watching Mr. Beast, right? And having a relationship with him. And like, so when you're watching Mr. Beast, are you assuming that's a show? Like, are we watching him more like
entertainment versus
the connection?
Then the connection. And I think that's the thing, is when you do connect with people off these lives elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like I will be honest, after a couple situations, I'm very hesitant to friend people on Facebook, not because I don't believe that we have something real from these lives, but because there's people in my life that I need to protect.
Yes.
Friends of mine who think it's really awesome that I'm starting to go protest other things too, like even they like real stuff. Not that Scientology isn't real. Sorry, that's not a great way to say it, but like political stuff or social
things that are going on now.
Yeah, social stuff that I believe in. They're like, we're really glad that you do that and that you post, but like, be really careful, like what bear you're poking. And I'm like, I'm being very careful because my family didn't ask for me to start doing these protests with Scientology, or against all this other stuff. And I have friends who don't want to be pulled into like vlogs or online. They don't want to be seen in videos online. So like, there's this balance where I think when I do trust people and friend them on Facebook and then have a bad situation happen, it just reinforces like, okay, right, I gotta protect.
Right. And I think that's okay. I don't really talk about Scientology. I mean, I obviously have talked about Scientology a little bit on my show. And I was on like the SPTV pre-show back in the day, for you old guys that you remember that thing.
Oh yeah.
But I always said like my channel is not SPTV. It's not SPTV related. It's not it's just Tiff, right? I'm just Tiff. We're just talking about what comes up, and I have subjects sometimes, but I don't like you say, your family, your friends. And the thing of it is, regarding Scientology and what I do as far as like my protesting or whatever, I don't share that with everyone because they're here for a long time. You know what I mean? They have lots of money and they're here for a long time. I'm not going to be here for my family in 20 years standing out there and fighting, right? Like, I'm not going to be here to take the brunt of anything in 30 years, but they've got time and they're willing to use it and wait and all those things. And so I really am, I'm proud of you for doing that. And I'm proud of you for doing other things too. I think that
Yeah.
might be
Advocacy
really
is
good
so
for you.
important.
Yeah.
Like, even like meeting Eric or Mandy or, you know, my best friend in the whole world, the one who just got married, also was diagnosed late with autism. And so I feel like I'm meeting people who can teach me things I need to know in a way where if I ask an ignorant question, they know that I'm not trying to be mean, like that I'm trying to learn from a genuine
learn.
place.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to foster with because all of us know a lot about a lot of different things, but for everything we do know, we don't know something, right? So we
Absolutely.
all have
Yeah.
a lot to offer each other in that event of like opening up and trusting each other with our experiences, a scary thing.
It is.
But I think like back to the oracles really quick because Crystal did ask for a card, but like that's what the fairies are about. They're about like embracing change, right? Like change will come whether we want it to or not. But when you know you can fall back on the people that you've been speaking with or trusting, life isn't scary anymore. Like, honestly, I did end up deleting my second channel that was going to be like specifically Scientology related, and I stopped being in chats for a couple months.
Yeah.
And immediately people were like, "Are you okay? Where are you? Where did you go? Why aren't you here?" And I was like, I was just like little old me. And I was like, I'm nothing special. I could leave these chats. No one even care. Like, who am I? I'm just a random person on the internet. But you know what I mean? Out of the
Yeah.
channels
I'm like,
that
if
are
I
like,
didn't see you for long, you know, I'm like,
yeah,
right?
no, but you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
when a channel has like 200,000
Right. That's what I'm
viewers,
saying.
like the ratio of it is if I drop off a channel with 200,000 viewers, is it noticed?
No. I mean,
No, but like the smaller channels for sure, because again,
yeah.
like you said, you get used to seeing people's names in there. Like I started modding, which I didn't expect, but I took very seriously because I was like, again, we've become actual friends. So to touch on a topic that I know people don't like, but you kind of brought it up earlier. On the internet, you do actually deal with social dissonance.
Mhm.
It's not the term most people use for it, but it basically means people who've been watching like Mr. Ballin or Mr. Beast or Shane Dawson or whoever for like 15 years think they know these people.
Right.
No, you know their curated videos. You know that they're funny. Maybe you know that they're comedians or that they got married or that they have kids, but you don't know them. And I
No.
think it hurts worse when you take the time to do these lives, like when Kazi does her post streams where you can like go and talk about what you're going
The
through, that
meats.
the meets, yeah.
Yeah.
When we do those videos and we're actually getting to know each other past the walls we normally put up, and then for somebody to disrespect, to be let past that wall and then hurt you on a personal level, that's a real betrayal of a friendship. right? We know each other. We've talked about personal things. That's
Yeah.
totally different. So I would agree that with most people in your chat right now,
Yeah.
I don't think I have social dissonance with any of them.
Right.
I mean, I know Eric a little bit less because he's relatively newer to me in general than some of the other chatters that I was in from the Scientology community.
Mhm.
But like, we've got time ahead of us. We've got years, right? Like,
Yeah.
to get to know each other.
Yes.
And so I take it seriously when people ping me and want support or they tell me something very personal. And like Tiff said, it doesn't leave the private chat.
No.
You know? Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
and that is the thing, and it does make it hard. And it, when you do but also I want to say something about like online communities,
Yeah.
because and it doesn't have to be betrayals, but
Well,
people
it feels that way.
no,
Like
and
sometimes.
I have things to pull up that, yes, I'm with you on the betrayals part, like but there are going to be people that will come and go, right? Like, that's something that you kind of have to, that doesn't mean never speaking again, but does something come up in their life? Does their job change and now they're busy doing something? Do they have a baby? Are they busy doing something? Did something change in their life? That's different than the betrayals. The betrayals have been happening too often lately. And I don't care for that. I don't you only get to know part of a person. That's very true. I mean, you do only get to know what someone shares with you. Let's see. If I have a friend or a mentor that knows the situation is tough, that fully understands what I am going through, then I can perform better under pressure. I'm with you a little bit that way. If you can kind of give me the grace to know that I'm right? Have you ever have that when you have that anxiety, but whoever is with you is giving you the grace to kind of have the anxiety? I can get through things a little bit better
Yeah.
than if somebody's like, get it together, pull your shit together. That's what my mom
Hold
used to say.
space. Like
Yeah.
I kind of noticed I think Eric popped out when he was getting a bit emotional, and I'm not trying to call you out. I'm just saying, like, we hold space for that because that emotion, not to get too medically sciencey, but essentially the chemicals in your body that respond to grief and stress do actually change when you feel that the need for emotional release. And to know that people genuinely hold space for you to not be okay and have the answers and just feel
Let you
whatever you're
be.
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because the other thing too, I've kind of noticed talking to someone I've started getting to know with like high anxiety is they'll post in the chat, I have anxiety, and then I don't respond right away because I'm at work or something. And then they'll type back, okay, I did the breathing technique you told me about. Or, okay, I've started doing a puzzle, or like reinforcing different techniques based on when you get to know people. And I've noticed that not instantly responding with a solution is helping people understand themselves, but
Yeah.
also just get out the emotion somewhere. Just get it out. They type in a chat, they come on a live,
Yes.
they just talk through it. And that can be even more validating because it shows you that the emotion that feels scary has a purpose. it's not just happening out of the blue. It's showing you, right? It's isolating something is not right and letting you process it at your own rate,
Yes,
you know?
very
So
much so.
I think that's what I cherish our community so much, is holding that space for people to feel what they feel.
Yes. I like that. And, during this time, I think something that we'll see is just kind of where people land. And it's almost like a big bomb went off in the middle of the community, and different people have been trying different things, which I think is wonderful. There's tons of music out there, which is wonderful. Poet gets so excited in the morning. He does it so early that I miss out, but he gets so excited about his show. Like, I think I found so much more true content that I get so much more from all these guys than the big channels, the send me money all the time, do this, do that. I feel much more fulfilled. I don't know about you guys. Yes, Brian, you would have a load of people come looking for you.
Brian, or anyone in the chat, don't make me feel like I have to go hire a PI to find you. I'm serious. I'll do it.
We all know what your car looks like. We have pictures.
I do it. I do it
Yeah,
too.
we would.
I'd call like a wellness check to be like, hey, I haven't heard from this person in like 5 days. That's not right. The only time I will stalk you is if I feel you're in actual danger. That was a little joke, but also serious.
True. I know. I feel that way. John says that was the lesson that many of us learned the hard way, Hales, and we knew these people outside of YouTube, which made it all hurt 10 times more. And it does. That's the I'm just gonna say real quick for me, and then you talk. I've met in person a couple of people, and I love it. And it's like you grow to love people over time, right? And then when you get to meet them in person, it's almost like you fall in love with them even more. And when that breakup, it does suck. So I'll shut up. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I would like to say something. Since when I started, well, not when I started YouTube, I've been on YouTube since 2013, but when I first met you guys, that was like maybe November of last year. I think when I started meeting you guys in Mental Health Matters. I think that's when it all started, when I first interacted. I saw how other people were dealing with the same stuff as I have been dealing with. If it's autism, if it's anxiety, if it's stress, if it's people that have mental health problems. It's like, with the community that Keela put together, it's like we're a family, like we're a YouTube family that deals with the same, situations that we deal with. And with how Keela is dealing with her health right now, seeing her struggles, and we know what she's what she's been through, and with her with her doctor's visits and all that stuff, and therapy and all that stuff, and we all have been through it. Like we all have been through the ringer with everything that we're dealing with, and it's like we're all family together. We're part of a community where we're there for everyone, and
Yeah.
and we're there for everyone that we're friends with on like Facebook or any of that stuff, and
Yeah.
and like what Haley was saying is, when she means that she'll come to look for you, that would mean she'll try and DM you on Facebook and be like, "Are you all right? I haven't heard from you. I hope you're doing well," and all that stuff,
Yeah.
Eh, and I do that sometimes with a lot of my friends or my family and stuff, and see how they're doing, and I'm like, if I've been friends with someone that I never met in person, but I've been friends with them for years on Facebook. I find out how's your family, how are you doing, and all that stuff. I miss you,
Yes.
It's how we connect with other people. What if we haven't heard from them in a while, or there's people that have passed away, and we'll be like, how did we not know that this person passed away and they were our friend and all that stuff? I'm like, we just
It
don't
can
know
be
when things will
difficult.
happen.
Yeah. It can be difficult. I did want to let you guys know that I think Chris is going to go on with Sam on After the Bars at around 8:30, I believe. Okay. What's that in Central Time? 7:30? You're an hour behind me, is that right?
Yeah, I'm in Central Time.
Okay,
I was
so
looking on his channel right now, but I don't. Maybe he doesn't preset the lives. Like you can go
well,
in
I
and
think
preset that you're going live.
yes,
but-
you're going on at 8:30. Okay, he says
Okay,
yeah.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely want to support that. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say too. Is
Me too.
we've been through as individuals, like sometimes when you go through a lot of stuff all at once, and then you have a moment where you run into someone you haven't talked to in a while,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah,
2
like an
years,
old
for
friend.
example. And they're like, well, what have you been up to in the last 2 years? And I'm like, the long version or the short version? But then when I was saying like to someone recently, I was like, oh yeah, this happened to me at 18 and 25 and 27 and 30 and 31. They're like, how are you sure that all happened to you? Like that seems like a lot. And like, how are you fine? I'm like, I have a medical team.
Yeah.
I have
Well,
the privilege to currently have good insurance. And for me, I lean on that. I go to therapy. I'm on medication. I have really supportive family. Not a lot of people, some people don't have that. I have really supportive friends. So it's not me on my own. But I think that there's this society expectation for us that when we grow up, that we're going to handle everything on our own because that's what adults do. But then you look around and you're like, wait, but my mom married my dad. They're not alone. They have each other and they have their family and they have their friends
mhm.
and they all don't know what they're doing.
No,
They
nobody
winged it.
knows. Yeah,
They
that's
winged it. And that's the thing is we get, you know, and to find people who get what you're going through without you having to explain it is very healing.
yes.
To be like, when I met Tiff, I was like, oh my God, you would not believe how frustrating it is for this. And she's like, girl, I run a Facebook group all about that.
We can talk about that all day
where we
long.
all like, you don't have to explain to us what you mean. You can just say what you're going through and we get it. And however you find that, it's so important because it takes the stress of having to make people understand. Because I
Yeah.
don't want what I've been through to happen to anybody else. Not with my health, not with people who hurt me, not with my DV situation I survived from my 20s. Like, I don't want people to understand because it means they've been through it. And I don't want that pain for anybody else. And that's why I've always striven. Like, if I can try to, you can't prevent it, okay? But if I can try, if I can educate people, like red flags to look for when people in your life might be going through something difficult and need your help. Because a lot of people generationally too were told like bootstraps, right? The metaphorical bootstrap analogy, like just suck it up and get through it. I'm like, there's some things that you can't just suck up. They're too painful. They're too heavy.
Yeah.
You need help. So, yeah.
And I personally am not someone that can eat my feelings. I'm going to talk about it. You know what I mean? I've learned over the years more appropriate ways to perhaps approach things, talk about things. You know, my first marriage was like, you know, I hadn't learned. Neither of us had learned how to communicate. We were young. But I am somebody that I can't. If you shove it down, it's going to come back up. It's just going to keep, you know, and eventually we have to get it out somewhere. And I'm so blessed that you guys had all found each other and you have all helped get each other through tough times. And I always want to say to the old lifeboat crew that remember, you've done all of the work that you've done. I want to read this real quick. I have known people for a lifetime and know little about them versus people for one interaction only, and those people have changed me forever. And we never know who, what, when we will have the chance to do so. What would you? WWJD. And it's true. I like this too. We are all children with scars and hair. Something I see, I am able to help someone else because of trauma that happened to me. Yeah. And I'm with Haley. Like, if one thing that I've learned, and I think Eric, you're the same way, that like if anything that we've been through and any of our hard times have taught us anything, that we could teach other people to make their lives a little bit easier. Eric. You know,
Ooh.
Eric. Yes.
How you doing, Eric?
Yeah, I'm just listening, but like with our loved ones, like our family members or our friends that we've been friends with for years, that if like I said before, like if we're friends with them on Facebook for a long time, or we knew like our family members we knew since we were born, the family members know the struggles more than the friends do, but if you're friends with someone that like if it's a friend from school, then if you decide to tell them your struggles, or anyone's struggles, or my struggles, or whatever, they'll be like, oh, I deal with the same thing. And we as friends or family members that we know, they know what we've been through. That it's like that they like for instance, like I have friends on Facebook that have kids that either has autism or Down syndrome or anything of that sort. But like with those people, like they understand what I have been through since I'm in a lot of the Facebook groups that is, an autism group or Down syndrome group, since I
Right.
have a family member with Down syndrome and I tell them I'm like, I tell them my story and then they listen and they start saying, oh, my son deals with the same thing, or my daughter deals with the same thing, and it's like, there's a lot of people out in the world that deal with the same thing, what we deal with and what we've been
Oh
through,
yeah.
and it's like, I mean, like for instance, our YouTube friends, like, on YouTube that we've been friends with,
Yeah.
we don't know a lot about them, but when we get to know them, will be like, you deal with the same thing as we do, and that would mean, you know, when you connect with people on live and stuff, on in the chats and stuff, and you see a person saying, I have autism, or I have anxiety or any of that stuff, you will connect with that person, and be friends with that person, and if they have Facebook or any of that stuff, and they want to talk offline and be friends, we
Yeah.
we have that, or even if people are alright with it, give them your phone number, but that's a little bit personal,
Yeah.
but but
I like those meets where we just meet and you can see each other and talk. You've been in those with me.
yeah,
Right. I
yeah.
know. Don't you like I don't know. How do you feel about those? I like them.
Well, since when I started being on the meets with Gila and Misha, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, for me, what I know about is Facebook. Like they have like group chats where you're
Yeah.
able to video chat with more than one person,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm more
Used to.
more into, but I haven't
Yeah.
done it in a long time, but but
That's what
but
I'm
with
used to
the Google
too.
Meet, I mean, it's interesting to be on with other people through YouTube that we met, and that we're able to, if we're able to, talk about our feelings,
Yeah.
and know others, with the same problems. So I
Yeah.
mean, for me, I love doing that, is interacting with others, and knowing more about them, and I think the meets are fun. I mean it's fun to do those, but
I think so
you
too. And
know
it's a nice way to support each other,
Yeah, I
you
agree
know.
because I think the nice thing about, well, I would say the thing about the Facebook group that is linked to Mental Health Matters is like it's mental health related, but the
Yeah.
meets that we do sometimes are just to hang out and
Whatever.
be like, oh, the week I had, or
Yeah.
like, here's something fun that happened, where you get a break from that because burnout is real,
Mhm.
even in your own life, but especially support when you support so many people. Tiff
Yeah.
is like, you don't have to tell me twice. And especially for people who are in the mental health field and medical field specifically, where you want to help people and you want to be available, like sometimes you have to take a step back and be like, I have to be available for me.
Yeah.
Because you can't fill someone else's cup or put someone else's mask on if you don't do it for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm like was confronting in therapy recently is I want to fix things that are not my responsibility
Yeah.
for others, and unfortunately they have to either learn the lesson on their own
Yeah.
or figure out how to rebuild on their own. And I just want to help and help and help, and sometimes people don't want that help, didn't ask for that help.
Right.
And I have to be okay with that because I don't like seeing people struggle.
Yeah.
But then I have to remember, did I learn lessons from struggling?
Yeah.
But it's
And sometimes
painful,
you
especially,
do. There are times in life where I think, yeah, you can. And there are times in life where you can't. And there are times in life where you're just not going to, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to. I'm done, and I've expressed to you. One of my friends, you're just reminding me of one of my friends, and it's like she's like, I've told you, I've given you the tools, I've suggested, like seriously, she for her friend, she's like laid out all of the tools to make the change, right? And it's like the thing, you can lead a horse to water, but you can make it drink. And so at that point, what do? Do you get on top of the horse and start beating it and say, no, what? You just have to walk away and hope that the horse drinks. And then, whatever happens with the horse happens with the horse.
Yeah.
Yes.
So another thing that I've taught about with Tori and Kim, my other keeper, the one we all know and love.
Yes. Yeah.
I've told them that maybe, well, a lot of people from the chats was
Yes.
saying maybe you want to mentor others that deal with the same thing that we're dealing with, with the autism or ADHD or Down syndrome or any of that stuff, like mentor them, and be like, help them through it. If the parents that I'm friends with on Facebook that I've known for a long time, if they're all right with me mentoring their kids, whatever, how they're, if they're little kids or they're like teens or adults or whatever, I want to mentor them and be like help them learn what autism or Down syndrome or any of the other disabilities out in the world, and help them through it. That's what I want to do. I want to be like an advocate for them, to help out. But that's like something that I'm having my thoughts on. And I mean, there's people that don't live in California where I'm at. They might live on the East Coast. They might live in the Midwest. They might live in like Europe or somewhere. But it's better to have a friend or a pen pal from a different place.
Oh yeah, I love that.
That deal with the same thing. And that's what I want to do. I want to be an advocate for them and help them through it. With their parents, consent and stuff. Since I'm friends with them, and if they're all right with it, then I'll be happy to talk with them and the parent, and maybe we'll work something out. But maybe I might I might, do like maybe I might try and learn how to do Google Meet. I have the app, but like maybe I might do like a a Google Meet where
Well,
we all talk about autism, or we talk about anything that we want to talk about, and I'll be the one to
run this show.
that, yeah. So that might be an idea. I mean, to bring others to the table, other parents and other families, together, and maybe try and do that with
Maybe.
Google Meet, and help others, out with their struggles and all that. So that might be something I might be, trying to look into, but when that will be, I don't know. But I have to, figure that out when the time is right, and then
Yeah. But I think, you can, when you go live on your channel, I think you just talking about certain things that maybe you've learned over time, just that alone, that somebody may hear that could be helpful. Hey,
yeah, but
Jojo.
but like the thing is with YouTube is with we all know there's trolls out in the world, but that's why I have mods for my channel. But if they're not there, then I have to ban them, for my safety, and and you know and just to be safe and all that from trolls and all that. I don't want them saying the wrong thing or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's why I have moderators, and that's why I have to help. So
I'm glad. You have good moderators too.
yeah, do I have you? I think I have you as a mod. I don't remember.
I don't know.
And like there's so many genuine people who believe in what each other is doing, and they're showing support. And I think sometimes that's all that people need, is at least to feel that one person really like sees and supports them.
Yeah. And like Misha said, people want to be seen and heard. And there is nothing wrong with taking a minute and listening to someone. And there are times in life where you have to say, I need to talk to you, right? Sometimes you do need to like kind of set the tone so that we know we need to chat.
Yeah. Before I hop off, would anybody else like a card?
I think Crystal wanted one, but I don't know if she's still here or what.
She was getting home. I actually messaged her on Facebook what her card was while you guys were talking.
Oh, okay.
You were saying some like important stuff, so I didn't want to.
Yeah, I saw your Facebook reply. Indigo. So I saw yours. I DM'd you a while back, so that's why I DM you on Facebook.
I don't have Facebook on my phone anymore. That was part of my mental health thing I did for myself. So anytime I'm on Facebook, I have to be at home at my desk, logged in on my computer.
That's good, though. It's good to set boundaries, and we do have to set them with ourselves, especially with the phone. Today at Easter, my mother-in-law, she was on her phone for a little bit. My husband was on his phone. My sister, her husband was on. You know what I mean? It's like everybody's in their phone, not interacting so much. So it's good too. I'm glad that you, and I'm really proud of you, Haley, for noticing where you need to kind of cut some of the crap back.
I'm
because
just
I know
gonna
it's hard.
say I'm going through some difficult med stuff right now, and then just personal things falling apart with people that I thought were friends.
No.
So I was just like, I need to take a step back.
Yeah, and sometimes
Um,
and
Taking
it's
a step
okay.
back is hard for me though,
I know.
because I worry so much about people. Like I said, we know our community has had so many people with like serious medical scares, or people who are in communities where they feel like scared and all of these things. And it was hard to take a step back because I felt very much like, at least if I see them in the chat, I know that they're okay. You know,
Yeah.
like, relatively speaking. Like if they respond to a message at all, I'm like, okay, still alive. My bar is low, guys. Like if I say, "Are you okay?" and I just see 3 dots at the bottom and you never hit enter, I'm like, verified alive. We can move on.
Yeah. That's I say that to my daughters. Like if I'm texting them and like they don't answer, I say I need a picture. I'm like, okay, but need a picture. And they'll send me pictures of them. I still want to hear from them. But and that's okay with me. It's hard to have adult children. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Joe said, I made sure I was never on my phone when I was around my son growing up. Different now. Yeah.
God, Ben. I'm sorry that happened. It's all awful. Just like I can't believe
Yes, it does show codependence on how they're thinking. Those people think. Oh, you're like spy genius, Ben Bacon Bits.
Jojo.
I know.
I
That's good.
made sure I was never on my phone when I was around my son when he's growing up. Now it's a different story.
I know.
Yeah, but
He's-
here's the thing. Here's the thing with
He's
Facebook or
grown,
Instagram or
whatever.
Twitter.
No kidding.
But here's the thing with social media and all that is all the things that people talk about, like if it's politics or religion or if
Like
there's but like like what Joe was saying, and social media isn't for everyone. There's there's people that that aren't on Facebook anymore or any of that stuff, since everything is putting their mental health in horrible situations and stuff, and it's like where we can't handle it anymore. So that's why it's better for her son to stay off of like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or any of those places and not be on it. It's not even worth it. So it's better to stay off.
Love you too, Mish. And that's another thing is normalize telling your friends you love them. Like love isn't just reserved for like husband and wives, right? Like you love your kids, you love your friends, you love your dogs who are like basically furry babies. Or whatever pet you have, like normalize giving that connection, because I think that for some of us we felt we didn't get that, and to genuinely feel that from people is life changing. And like Mish said, you don't have to like edit their like lifetime novel that they write about their life to like have love for people. But when you do start getting to know people personally, I think it's important to say like, I see you, I care about you. Like that's what love is. It's like this larger thing, larger than yourself. It's like hard to say those words in certain contexts because there's so much trust built up there. But I think when you genuinely offer that extension of true emotion to people, it really like can help them start flipping the script, because I think a lot of us have a running voice in our head, or maybe it was a specific voice, but it's saying stuff like you have to hit a certain grade or a success mark or whatever to be validated, to be loved. And that's not the case. Literally, all you have to do to be loved is wake up tomorrow. Oh, you're muted, Tiff.
I like to give love. It's free, and I think it's a superpower. You know, I think you can change someone's whole day just by being kind to them. And I think that's important that we still have people that do that in this world. And so people can hate for no reason. Why can't we love to share and experience happiness and support and kindness? Love is organic. It grows, expands, deepens, and builds.
Yes.
Very true.
It's like a river.
It is. Let's see. Irish. Hi, Irish. People who hate are missing love in their lives, in my opinion. And I agree. I mean, I agree with you. There's something missing. And it's in my opinion, online, right? I mean, because I've been online for many, many years, right? And I've never had the energy, the wherewithal, the what have you, to go and really truthfully be hateful to someone. I have never. I think it takes a lot of energy. And if you care that much to be ugly, then why can't you care enough to have a decent conversation? Of my
that happens. That does happen to me with my phone and stuff. When we say words that are reversed or they're not the way we say it, you know, like if we're doing it through our voice, you know, there's words that is like, what did he say?
I know.
It's like, you know, that's how our threat is, and I hate that. I hate that on my phone.
I think you're right. You can't disagree or even argue with somebody you don't care about. Right? Because even if you feel
Yes.
that anger or pain, you cared. Why would you feel anger and pain if you didn't care at all? Do you know what I mean? So I think that's a lesson I've learned is not everyone will be in your life forever, but what they give you is a chance to grow in yourself and learn a lesson, break a pattern, create a new thought process. You know, so yeah, like people in this community are smart, funny. All y'all are cute, and you can't you will not change my mind.
It's
You
the
cannot
best looking
change it.
community on the internet.
Y'all might need some self-confidence, but y'all cute people.
How cute.
Another thing is with me, you know, I've been doing my stand-up comedy and voice impressions on my live streams, and
Yes.
and you know I've been doing it on there, you know, lately, and you know, people are laughing and having a fun time, and that's what that's what it is we bring people together on live streams, you know, and we make them laugh, or we make them cry, or we make them feel better, you know. That's how it is with YouTube and stuff, you know, and I think that's a better way of to make people, you know, feel, you know, a different way, you know, if they're feeling like, they had a bad day, if the person's live streaming, and if I'm doing a live stream, or anyone else is doing a live stream, and there's laughter, that's
Yeah.
that's the best medicine is laughter. So,
Yes.
that's what we need is having some laughs. So, I mean, that's what I do on my channel. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Mm.
It's nice to get online, and it's nice to kind of come home and get on and be like, oh, I wonder if anybody's online, right? And you find your friends, and you're like, oh, hey, how are you? Oh, hey, how are you? Like, I love it when I'm like, I hit a spot and there's a bunch of people there, and I'm like, oh, there's everybody.
Yeah, but we have the power to cultivate love. And that's the thing, is like, a lot of programs that help people to get sober or change their life, the first mantra they use is something very similar to embrace what you can control, which is yourself, and let go of what you can't, which is literally everything else.
Very true.
And that can be a freeing feeling, because then you're saying, I can show love. I can show kindness to others. And by doing that, you start what, like, Mish usually calls the ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
Like letting them know, hey, even if it's like, I tell people at a restaurant that I just ate at where I'm going home, hey, have a nice night. Meal was great. And how often do they get positive affirmation that they did a good job? Because usually when you talk to a manager, it's seen as this negative, horrible, like you had a bad experience. So I'll ask
sure.
managers to leave a good review, because these people have to spend like 8 to 12 hours on Easter doing their job.
Right.
And
I think that's very important. Like the little man, I always love to compliment the little man.
But yeah, so thank you to everyone in this community who's interacting in the chats, and who makes videos, and who lurks or supports in whatever way that you do. Like, our channels, me excluded, who like might post a video at some point in my life, but those of us who make content, we wouldn't have channels without viewers.
No,
We wouldn't have communities without you guys. And for a lot of us, I think that would be okay if we're passionate about the project we're working on, or the platform we're advocating for. It's not that we need the validation from a community, but it's that we're hoping to build connections with people. And so, Max says, it's surviving together wouldn't be a thing if there was no one here watching and interacting with the videos.
That's very true. None of it would, no. And that's the thing. You have to treat your viewers like you care, that they're there, or appreciate them. If there are 2 people here, I'm thankful. Mac's doing amazing things. But she's very right.
Yeah, everyone's contribution matters, and like, you don't have to have a grand plan, or like, even in the Scientology community, I tell people you don't have to physically go out if you're not capable of doing that. Like, morally or emotionally supporting people who are going through what they're going through, even, that makes a big difference to show that support, because you never know what people are going through either. So why not be kind?
Yes.
Another metaphor, it's not the latte. I would tell baristas I worked with all the time, it's not the latte. That person walked in with a life that you don't know.
Yep.
They walked in not knowing your life.
Yeah.
And the last straw to slip just happened to be maybe the mistake, or they were late and they're requesting you to remake it. Just remake it. Be like, sure, let me make it hot for you. You never know. Like, I did that once and someone's like, you didn't have to remake those 5 drinks. She was late picking them up. I'm like, well, it's a customer service job.
Yeah. What are we
And
doing?
she
if
said,
we're
and she
but not-
said, it was rushed. You didn't have to do that. But then she came back the next day and she said, I was taking those drinks to the hospital because we were visiting my family member in the ICU.
No. See?
And like half her order was frappuccinos that melted, so I just remade them. Like, it's not like, to me, I was like, that product is also no longer safe to consume if it's been sitting too long.
But
So like, we
sometimes-
actually do have to remake
right.
it for food safety standards. Because if you don't and it sat out for more than 5 to 10 minutes, the milk it's not good anymore.
Mhm.
But it's stuff like that where when you do a kindness for somebody, you might never see them again. But it will make a bigger impact on them than you could ever imagine.
Yes.
She didn't have to
Because
come back and tell me what happened, but she did because she felt like the context of her outburst embarrassed her so much.
she
Like,
wasn't
she was
well,
apologizing
good.
to me for having come in, like, yelling and crying, and I was like, I don't know what you were going through till you told me. Like, I wouldn't have known if you didn't come back,
Right.
but that's the thing,
Yes.
so.
Christina's Be Kind video about I'll have to watch it. Yeah, and working fast food is a hard job. It really is not a job to flip and sneeze at. I have to get better at reading the chats. I'm horrible with my focus and not being able to see nowadays. It's hard thing to balance. I feel sometimes when I respond, and there are a lot of comments. I do not want to appear disingenuous. Well, just be yourself. I just come on and I be myself. And if you ever feel I'm disingenuous, feel free to ask me. I'm an open book, aren't I, Haley? Pretty much. So far. Fast food workers deserve extra kind. You're not kidding. They do.
Or
Yeah,
just
another
normal
thing.
again.
Another thing. When I was on TikTok, I've been, seeing some videos of people that are customers at these fast food places, and I'm like, the way that they treat them. Let's say if their food is wrong. Let's say if they put in the wrong order. They like, start to have a fight with the people that work there.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not being nice. That's like being disrespectful, rude, and other things. I love fast food. I love burgers and fries and all that stuff from like McDonald's or like places that we all know and love. But
yeah,
we have to pay respect to the people that work for these fast food places and be nice to them. They're doing the hardest that they're doing with trying to make food and stuff. So, I mean, if someone's having a bad day and if their food is wrong,
Oh yeah.
that's I'm like, you just eat it.
Yeah.
Just eat it if it's wrong.
Well,
if
or
it's
be kind.
You know what?
Yes.
The most two powerful words you can say to someone is thank you.
Thank you.
I said it. I
But-
mean, they're talking in the chat about cleaners too. For some perspective, until they started unionizing and doing all this stuff, you know who cleaned like the entire Starbucks and the bathrooms? The baristas did.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
You know, and people look at these jobs as illegitimate stepping stones for some reason. So I try to tell them, you know, thank you. Like,
Oh yeah.
thank you for like just thank you, because you know, people, like Eric was saying, like think about how much responsibility and stress it must be to clean a hotel room. You
Yeah,
know,
it's a
someone's
lot.
staying at a hotel
lot.
for a week of vacation and you're in there cleaning, putting new sheets, putting new towels, doing all this stuff. You're probably on your feet for 12 hours.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
miserable.
these shifts
Yeah.
are, some of these shifts I pulled in my 20s were insane. Like one time I worked 13 days in a row
Oh yeah. Well,
because my coworkers had like really unexpected things happen where they couldn't call in fast enough to get their shift covered. I mean, was it healthy for me to do that? No, but who else was gonna? We had like a very small, specific staff for every shift.
yeah.
And so it's like saying thank you, or even when people don't say anything, but they take the first sip of that latte, and I could see on their face that, like, for a minute,
It's heaven.
they could just forget everything.
Yeah.
That meant more to me than any number of mistakes or fielding angry
Oh, okay.
customers. And I think that's the thing, is a lot of people, when they're stressed, they're not themselves. Try to remember that. When people come in and flip out over an order, it's probably not the order. There's probably something going on behind it. Now, it doesn't make it right when they're people can be vicious with their words. That's not right.
No, it is not.
But you know, yeah, it's that kindness and love are changing the world. And I know we see so much negative and it can be really hard to remember it. But we've already done in 7 months or more, like with our communities, with the village.
Yeah.
Look at how
Before
many of
Thanksgiving.
us have had our lives changed by
Since
each
then.
other.
I know. And I'm so thankful for that. And I'm so thankful that we've been spending these holidays together. There's Wit. Hi, sweetheart. Witness and I have spent Thanksgiving, Christmas,
Witness!
and New Year's, and now Easter together. My day is complete that I have seen you now. But I am also no, baby, never. But I am getting ready to get off. We're getting ready to get off.
Yeah. I mean, we have T being on. We have Sam after the bars being on. So
Thank
we
you.
have a few people that will be on the village. And being on with us. After we get off. So
Yeah, so
and
you can go find T on her channel, I believe. And then Sam and Eric are on After the Bars. And so you can
not
jump
me,
to
a different
whichever one.
Yeah.
You want
Not
to.
me, a different
Everybody that's
Eric.
in chat.
Oh yeah,
Because-
Lord Kiss Freak.
Yeah,
And
Lord
Sam.
Kiss Freak. It's Chris, and he'll be on with Sam. And then T is going on.
Yeah.
And starts in 2 minutes. Okay.
You know,
So-
before we hop off in literally a minute,
Yes.
And Sam just went live.
Mish,
So
Okay. Yep. You just started.
need to hear this as often as possible. It was her idea to do the first Christmas 48 hours and Thanksgiving and Easter. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you,
You
Misha.
inspired us all, and you gave us a gift that I can't put into words.
No, I appreciate.
So you are a gem. You will get through what you're going through, and you're not alone. You showed us that we're not alone, and neither are you.
No, obviously we've
Love
all
and
been here
light.
all day. So thank you, everyone. Happy Easter if you celebrate. Happy Sunday, Monday. Just thanks for being here.
yeah, for me, I'm not celebrating. I'm relaxing. So I'll be on the
Well,
streams, but
good.
you know,
Good.
I'll be on all streams tonight. So I mean, it's 6 p.m. where I'm at in Culver City, in California. So, but yeah, I'll be on with anyone that's on. So I might be on with Sam since I want to see what's up with them. So,
Okay.
but yeah,
All right. Well, thanks everybody, and I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah. Love to everyone. I'm gonna do this. And thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for being here, Haley and Eric.
Yeah.